Yes, well, that was the time I think we were heading for Vancouver and in British Columbia, but we decided we'd fly over to and stop over in Boston, Massachusetts. Priscilla, she wanted to see some friends in Delaware, and I decided to head down to New York for 3 days. It was a literary festival, and it was hosted by Perez Augustine, and I thoroughly enjoyed it, and so I was like, shut up! Well, a very good afternoon from Bennybeg, Andy. Bennybeg. And it's a rather dreary looking Bennybeg, I'm afraid. There's not much light, but I have to say it's not bad for this time of year. This is the 27th day of December, 25. And after all the Christmas, guzzling, most people are trying to get out for some fresh air and a bit of return to normality in some respect. Although it's a long time till the next Christmas, and there is only so many Christmases in a lifetime, and I think that's why you've got to make that special effort. Even if you completely hate the occasion, it's still worth putting a bit of effort in to at least try and enjoy it and have some hilarity. But I came out. I wanted to get some proper bird feed out. Yes, I'm not sure it's that one or the one below it, but the birds absolutely adore the suet, and I thought, well, it's worth it for the birds. And of course, the blackbird, I have exactly the same birds in my garden every single day. There's no variations. There is a nuthatch. It's been present for a number of weeks, clinging to the basket filled with nuts. But apart from the blue tits and the great tits and the cold tits, we have familiarity with the robin and the thrushes and the blackbirds, of course, but especially one blackbird, and he comes and asks me every morning, would there be any chance of some cheese, Andy? And he always takes his cheese from the windowsill. And then, of course, the robins always are. I really look after them. One of the reasons I look after them is because, the blackbird praises me in the month of May. He'll sit in the top of the fir tree and sing his heart out. For no other reason but to say thank you, Eddie. You got me through another long winter period where I didn't have to fuss too much about getting something to fill my belly. I also spotted a couple of cheap ivies. I thought they were rather pretty. I like these sort of things, so I'll get them on my windowsill, and it cheers up the winter gloom. So I'm not going to hang around here actually, because it's it's quite dreary and it's not very much excitement looking at that scene. And I will tell you though, and I put £50 on it probably. I've looked it out, and this very, very benign weather we're having is going to change quite dramatically this time round, this winter. It's going to change, and I forecast from the 3rd of January on the full moon, 3rd of January 26, we'll start the snow, and we'll get a terrific amount of snow this winter. I know it. I just know it in my bones. It's going to happen. And what kind of sort of annoyed me today actually was I accidentally looked at the BBC News website, and some bloody virtue signalling of a Dunkeld cafe owner. Climate change cafe. I thought, for fuck's sake. So I'm going to have to pay it a visit, and not for an argument, but just to sort of ascertain exactly where her brain is. I really am looking forward to it. I'm going in, I'm going to say to her, look, I'm not here for any sort of argument. I'm just wanting to, have a bit of a judgment call on your logic. And if she gets upset and throws me out, well, that's normally an indication that I'm right and she's wrong. I can't believe it. And I feel so sorry for the children because they've been bloody fed this off their parents and teachers, and just about everything they do has got climate change attached to it. And they're brainwashed, completely and utterly brainwashed, and it's so sad. There's nothing wrong with the climate. I keep going on about this actually. I do a lot of vlogs about climate change. Well, no climate change. Look out there. Ever since I was a toddler, this is the sort of weather we get in December, round about Christmas time. Sometimes the frost is a bit harsher or it's a bit milder. So this is, right, on balance, it's perfect. It's exactly the same weather we've always had between Christmas and New Year. And January to March can be the most turbulent period in Scotland, in the northern hemisphere, you see. And where the snow has been vacant from most of Europe for a while, well, it's going to return. It's going to come back, Annie, and we'll hear all about it. No climate change, I'm sorry. And I say quite often, without wishing to repeat myself, climate change would indicate that all these, rosemary, willow herb and stuff would all be in bloom in December. And the willow would be budding. It's just insanity, and I really hate it all. It really annoys me. Some people get annoyed about different things, like there's this new, it's resurfaced about the bloody fox hunting. And they stopped the fox hunting. That was Blair in 2004, I think it was. They stopped that. And a lot of people's livelihoods were based upon that fox hunting stuff. I mean, I'm not in total agreement with the bloody crazy bastards chasing a fox across the fields with hundreds of bloody, well, at least dozens of dogs on its tail. It must be terrifying for the poor little thing. Blowing their horns and, But it's a traditional way of, especially in East Yorkshire and Lincolnshire and stuff like that. They're very big on that. Just like people in Shetland are very big on that Viking bloody celebration up Heliar in January. Just like, lots of Highland communities enjoy Shinty. And what they want to do now, they had a scented trail for these hunts. So they basically take a scent from a fox or something and scatter it around the countryside, and the dogs chase that scent, and they still get their bit of fun and the mulled wines and stuff like that, and all these horses and all these dogs and all these saddlers and all the businesses associated with this event. It happens in the winter months, particularly on Boxing Day. That's the big one, of course. But some people want to spoil everything for everybody. I mean, it was Thatcher that sort of back in the mid-1980s, which she decided she'd go after all the hippies travelling to music festivals. And they sent the bloody police in and smashed up everything that these people owned. For no reason, but just because they wanted people to conform to a certain standard of life that everybody else has. It also includes the travellers, the bullied and, demented by this fixation of the governments to try and toe them in line with the rest of society, when they've been doing the same bloody travels since, before the Doomsday Book was written. No, I have to say everything's gone a bit sort of odd, and this climate change stuff, and these people who have totally jumped on the bandwagon. Imagine naming your cafe the Climate Change Cafe. I mean, that's what I call. If I had been in business and I had named my cafe in 2021 or 2022 the COVID Cure Cafe, that would be shut down in bloody 5 minutes. The COVID Cure Cafe. I might bring that to that woman. I might say that to that woman. Say, what do you think of this name for a cafe? But Climate Change Cafe, of course she's going to get these bloody non-thinkers through her door. These people that can't understand that, all they need to do is go into the local library and search bloody the records. Even just on a local basis, a regional newspaper, the Dundee Courier, published daily temperatures for the area, minimums and maximums for since the day they started publishing. So what the hell did they not go in and check and find out that the weather's not changed at all? But they won't do that. They absolutely love the whole idea that we're all heading for some mammoth alteration in our weather. And I think we should pop away from here, not because there's any problems, it's just that it's not a great view. And if you're sitting watching this at home, it's probably not really that enticing. Because the windscreen's a bit streaky, and I think we should actually go and park up somewhere that's a bit more beatific. Yeah, somewhere a bit more beatific, because it's all getting a bit steamy in here because of the, internal temperatures are slightly higher than the external temperatures. Yes. Especially from your breath, which is probably around 37 degrees Celsius. Yeah. A bit hotter if you were eating curry. Yeah, I don't want to keep on labouring the points about climate change on my channel, but I think it is important to, highlight that the citizens of this country are so gullible, and they're like sheep in a very dim respect of how they apply thinking and logic to something as simple as the weather. So I probably will continue to mention climate change often on my channel as a result. Therefore, I will show you this upload from the early hours of the 12th of December to highlight that there has been no change in world temperatures. I've just chosen Mombasa in Kenya, Yakuts in Siberia, Russia, and I think I've also mentioned New York. Well, a very good evening from the home address. It's almost 1 a.m. I don't sleep very well in the winter months. Not really, terrible insomnia. And, well, it's because of the long dark nights. The body can't switch off because it's been dark since 5 o'clock or earlier. And I tend to feel more tired at 7 p.m. than I do at midnight or 3 a.m. But anyway, looking here, I've noticed that the Met Office have changed their stuff. I meant to mention this previously. I did complain to them because I said that these new symbols don't really give an accurate forecast, and they put the rain and snow in together, so it's also not helpful. But what they can offer is a switchback mode, so I can switch back. So I'm currently having a little peek at what's happening in Yakutsk in Siberia. I feel so sorry for these people. Every winter we complain about a chilly wind from the north. We make a big fuss of it, but look at these temperatures, already down to minus 44 degrees Celsius. Well, that's the field light temperatures, minus 38. But let's have a look at tomorrow night, Friday morning. That'll be the 13th of December, is it, eh? No, it'll be the 12th of December, you fool. This is the 11th. Minus 40 degrees Celsius. Now you can see that. I'll show you what I'm talking about. We're actually in Yakutsk. I have mentioned this all before, of course. I've done previous uploads regarding weather forecast from Yakutsk. I think I was doing similarities between that and, Hurghada in Egypt. I mean, I noticed the temperature in Mombasa is already up at 34 degrees. It'll start getting even hotter. 25 degrees at night. If you go down to Dar es Salaam and stuff like that, I mean, you're talking very high temperatures. In Khartoum, I make a big thing about it. Khartoum never seems to have a temperature lower than 50 degrees Celsius. Well, maybe down to about 35, Andy, if you think about it. It goes up to about 50 or 60 degrees Celsius in high summer. But, certainly well over 100 degrees Fahrenheit, well over. But look at this. This is at 10 a.m. on Friday morning, the 12th of December. So you're heading towards midday. Should be the warmest part of the day. But look what's happening in Yakutsk. It's minus 40. It's 40 below freezing point. It's cold on your bloody most people's freezers. And that's the outside temperature, of course, in the street. And with the light breeze, it's blowing. What's it? A 3 miles an hour breeze from the northeast. It's 48 below. That's what it feels like because of the wind chill factor. You see the wind chill, even just a slight breeze. But if it was blowing a bloody gale, that would take it down to minus 70. Feels like temperature. Of course, the temperatures will drop even further. If I come back here in a month's time, these temperatures will be down about minus 50 below, with feels like of about minus 60. So you can see that, well, in actual fact, a lot of the Russians actually break the ice and go and have a dip in the water. because the water below the ice is actually warmer than it is standing in the bloody chill. But this is one of my hobbies. I like. I mentioned a lot in this channel of mine about how much I distrust the Met Office in the UK. Well, here's a good point actually, Andy. I mean, let's look at this. Even next week we've got minus 37 below, minus 35 below. Because the sun's come out, you see, in your coats. So it's maybe a good time to go on holiday to your coats. With the sunshine, not so cold, certainly not minus 40 anyway. But let's go to. So I've shown you the Yakuts. Let's have a look at Mombasa again, Andy, please. Where are we? Kenya, not in Tanzania. So it's this is the old Zamel, and let's switch back. There we are, because it gives you the colours, you see. The reason the Met Office has done this, you see, this is another trick up the sleeve about this bloody thing about not giving accurate information. The new forecast design doesn't give you the idea of how hot. It's just, well, it just looks like a sort of early 2000 Microsoft page or something, you know. But if you switch back, look at that already. You've got the full sun glaring in the hot temperatures. It feels like 36 degrees Celsius at lunchtime. Of course, it's already what time? Well, it must be 5 AM already. But by lunchtime today, full sun. I mean, what's it? UV level is so high that you. Where's the UV level? There's the UV levels there. We get excited if we get to 3 or 4 in the UK. Sometimes you get up to 5 or 6. But they're already up to 12 and 13. Off the bloody scale, isn't it? Although I have seen it in Damascus, not personally been there, but on those charts when it was above 15. But that's pretty, I mean, you'll be in wandering along the beach even for half an hour and you'll be fried. Absolutely fried to bits. But look at that. Hot sunshine and literally wall-to-wall sunshine from 6 AM right through until 5 PM when the sun starts to go down. Of course, when you're near the tropics, you get exactly 12 hours daylight, 12 hours night. And you know, the nearer you get to the equator, so you see. So, what have we got next week with this lot? Well, it's looking like it's cooling down overnight to, tomorrow morning it'll be 26 or 25 at 1 o'clock in the morning. But as you can see, Andy, we've got a steady 33, 34 degrees highs almost all of the next week. Where's my dial? Yeah, it is any. Are we going up at all? Yeah, so it's in the 90s. Almost getting towards the 100 degrees there, Fahrenheit. But look at this, full sunshine again. Just constant, isn't it? So if you spent a month in Kenya at this time of year, you come back very, very colourful. You might get a job in an advert. One of the UK adverts. Advertising British products. Yes. 35 degrees, 36, 37, that's the fuel light temperature, so I mean it's quite uncomfortable, isn't it? Where else can we go, Andy? Just for a quick peek. What's happening in New York? Spelling please. New York. See how it flicks back to this bloody old, this new model they have, and it's not very good. So let's do a switch back again, Andy. And see, this is why they do it, because now you can see quite evidently the low temperatures in New York, which will be coming our way soon. Minus 7 degrees. At 8 o'clock in the morning, that's the fuel light temperature, but it's below freezing, you see, for several days, by the looks of things. So there must be an anticyclone sitting wild. Look at this, it's dropping down to, feels like minus 11. What's the wind? Yes, it's coming from the northwest, Andy. So it's coming all the way down from the Rockies at Canada, right across all the mid-states of America, yeah. So what I'm saying is about all this, if you don't mind, I talk a lot about climate change on my channel when I'm referring to anything meteorological. And I challenge them all the time. But isn't it funny that, or isn't it strange more than funny, because it's not that funny, it's not hilarious. But isn't it odd and strange that we in the United Kingdom seem to be the only people who suffer from climate change? Because everywhere I look, whether it be, let's go to Saudi Arabia, let's go to Riyadh. What have they got? See, just change that back, Annie. Riyadh, 26 degrees Celsius, so, I mean, it's December, Northern Hemisphere, so that's alright. And the winds are coming from the northeast, so they're bloody blowing down from Siberia, right across Iran. But anyway, what I'm trying to say here, if you look at these temperatures, whether it be in temperate zones, desert zones, tropical zones, you know, around the world, just in random, you will find that these are the same temperatures that they've had. Well, I can tell you that it's the same temperatures on a weekly basis that I remember from looking at them when I was about 10-year-old. Because I've mentioned before on my channel that when I was a paper boy, the first thing I did was hauled out the Courier, the Dundee Courier, when it was an old-fashioned broadsheet. I swept through the pages until I found the world temperatures, and it listed them. And this is how I always fell in love with Riyadh, from Saudi Arabia. I was always amazed that they had temperatures, you know, exceeding 40 degrees Celsius in the summer months. So nothing's changed, Andy. So you're in Mombasa. You travel to Mombasa in Kenya, on the coast, and you'd expect that in December to be having pleasant temperatures in the 90s. And that's exactly what we've got. And if you go to Yakutsk in Russian Siberia, well, if you go in December, you're going to find the temperatures of 40 below. And that's exactly what they are. 40 below. I don't see Yakutsk sitting, you know, them sitting in bikinis in Yakutsk because the temperature's hovering around 5 degrees or 15 degrees Celsius. above freezing. You get my point? I don't want to sound tedious here. There is no climate change. These are exactly the same temperatures that we've always had, whether it be in Riyadh, Mombasa or Yakutsk.